What's going on, guys? It's Mr. DEBT Joe Lorick from the Money Etiquette Group. I'm here to talk about another IPO, and today I want to talk about Endeavor's IPO. They just filed for their IPO. If you don't know who Endeavor is, make sure you listen up. If you watch the show Entourage, okay, this is funny to me, but if you watch the show Entourage, the show is scripted around the life of Ari Gold. Ari Gold is a fictional character, but it's still based on Ari Emanuel, who owns Endeavor and did own Endeavor Talent Agency. Okay, we're talking the big guy, Ari Gold, all the fast talking, slick talking, representing people. That is a character, but it still represents the life of a real person, Ari Emanuel. And it's just funny because how things tie into Ari Gold and Goldman Sachs is handling their IPO. But nevertheless, look, another way to know about Endeavors is, of course, you can look into their purchase in 2016. They own or are the parent company of the UFC. Okay, Dana's still there, I get all that, but the ownership is through Endeavor now. So they bought the UFC for about $4 billion in 2016. So they're a heavy player in sports and entertainment. Like I said, a lot of festivals, they're behind it, a lot of TV shows. They have, of course, some talent in there, but they also represent, or they did work with some writers, even though they're going through a dispute, and other levels of talent, you know, production. They're heavily involved in entertainment, whether it be through television, some movies, but a lot of festivals, and big time when it comes to sports, of course, with them putting on events through the UFC. So that's the company in a nutshell, but let's go over the financials. In 2018, Endeavor brought in $3.6 billion of revenue, which was up $600 million from 2017. And in fact, in 2017, they lost $61 million. Okay, it was a net loss of $61 million. But in 2018, they earned $13 to $18 million in profit. Again, $318 million in profit, which is a substantial gain. You go from a loss in 2017 to making profits in 2018. And that's big. We've seen all the IPOs come out of tech companies and companies that have yet to turn a profit. Well, Endeavor has turned a profit to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. When it comes to how they make their money, it may surprise you, but less than 50% of the revenue is from talent representation. The most of their money comes from TV shows, especially connected to the UFC and festivals, about 60% to be exact. And guys, just in case you're wondering, the biggest star that they have on board in terms of talent is Dwayne The Rock Johnson, okay? We're talking about HBO's Ballers, they're in that. You're talking about his movies, they get a piece of all of that. And you know they're heavily involved in sports and entertainment, and who's bigger when it comes to sports and entertainment than Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Very few people. So that's their biggest star that they represent. When it comes to who controls the company and who will after their IPO and the shares are released, it's going to remain the same. Right now, Ari Emanuel is the biggest holder. They do have other holders that are going to still have a majority of the company, including Patrick Whiteshell and a few other individuals. So you have about 6 or 7 individuals that are the primary holders of the company, and they will maintain control of the company. Now, while we don't have their valuation, we don't know how much the stock is going to be exactly when it's released. We can say that the stock is going to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange, again, the NYSE. We do know also that their ticker symbol will be EDR, again, EDR. And Goldman Sachs is going to be the major player behind rolling out this stock. We do have other partners. I believe JP Morgan is involved, but Goldman Sachs is taking the lead and making sure that this IPO is released successfully. Now, here's one warning I will put out there because, of course, they put it out there in their press release themselves. Look, there's a dispute going on with the Writers Guild of Hollywood and Endeavors. They had a contract. They are no longer in contract. They're trying to renegotiate to bring, you know, the writers and everybody back to the table with Endeavor. But this dispute could cause things to go sour. This could mean a lot for the company's revenues and what shows they're involved in and how well they'll do in 2019 and 2020. So that is something you should monitor. But I will say that I do like that they didn't try to hide that they put it out there in the public. Just even though we do want people to invest in the company and buy shares, we do want you to know that this dispute that's going on with the Writers Guild is serious, and certainly it could cause some setbacks, temporarily at least, when it comes to their revenue and their profits. So, all right, guys, there you have it. That's just a quick rundown about Endeavor. I want to know if you guys want to be in business with Ari Emanuel. It's just interesting because usually we have a lot of tech companies that have come out, you know, pharmaceutical companies, medical companies, but an entertainment group, you don't have that happen every day. So I'm very curious to see and interested to see how you guys feel about it. If you feel like you want to be in business on an investment side with Ari Emanuel, with Hollywood talent, with the UFC. There's a lot of UFC fans out here. If you feel like you believe in the product, you believe UFC is the future of combat sports and it's the lead of combat sports over boxing and other sports, well, put your money where your mouth is. You have the opportunity to invest directly in the UFC. So what are you guys going to do? Tell me what you think in the comment section. I'm waiting to hear from you, and make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notifications, because as soon as we get pricing and dates, I'm going to make another video to announce it so that you know as soon as possible. That gives you enough time to prepare to purchase that IPO if you plan on doing so. So again, guys, make sure you subscribe. I appreciate the support. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.